The idea of my daughter spending the night with a man twice her age.
Don't you ever listen to anything?
I don't think you understand, ma'am. Your daughter's in great danger. These men are trying to kill your daughter. And besides that, there's that creature.
Welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B-movie and immediately discuss. I'm Tom. I'm here with Eric and Brittany.
What up?
Hi. Hello. It's just us three, and we're on a very special bonus Christmas episode.
Bonus. Just us three, just about Christmas.
Yeah. So it was a Bad Movie Sunday pick.
Yes.
Yep, they picked the movie for us to watch on our Christmas special. Said it was right up our alley. I've seen it floating around.
Yep.
It's a little movie called Elves from 1989.
I feel like I've definitely seen these elves' ugly faces.
Yeah.
Many, many places.
I've seen, I feel like there's like those bad Christmas movie lists and this is usually on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that would be why we watched Elves.
Yeah.
Because it's a Christmas bonus episode, Bad Movie Sunday selection. Super fantastic fun time.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
All right. Who would like to describe what this movie's about? I'm the worst at it. I'm the worst at doing this job. So who would rather do it?
I'll do it.
Okay, Brittany's going to do it.
All right. So this movie is about a teenage girl named Kirsten who, along with her friends, the quote-unquote Sisters of Anti-Christmas, as they've dubbed themselves, perform a weird spell to ruin Christmas? What the fuck were they even trying to do?
That's a good point.
I think
they were just like, Christmas sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it snows.
Yeah, so they do this weird ritual in the woods. Basically, she summons this little elf creature, and then the rest of the movie is just a compilation of her trying to escape these elves, also trying to escape a bunch of Nazi terrorists.
Yes.
Nazi occultists, even.
With the aid of Grizzly Adams.
With the aid of Grizzly Adams, all while this elf is trying to have a midnight rape of her virginity on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, because the goal of the elf is to
midnight rape.
Midnight rape the Antichrist into Kirsten's belly.
Yes.
That's the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, when you put it that way, we watched some weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's utterly fucking bizarre.
Yep.
So come to find out, who you think is Kirsten's grandfather is actually her dad.
Well, who's also her dad.
Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. Also her dad. So he had sex with his daughter, who is her mother. They had her to produce, like, the quote-unquote perfect offspring, Aryan style, like blonde hair, blue eyes, so that this elf could mate with it and create, like, a super race of people who would, like, take over the world, but it's basically the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I think that's
it.
You
know, I was going to dispute their logic, but then again, they're Nazis, so they don't really...
They don't really deal in logic.
Don't really have to.
If it wasn't for their brutality, you'd just call them crackpots.
Maybe one of the best lines I've ever heard.
What was the librarian's little shtick about Nazis?
That was the one.
Yep.
Okay, so let's rewind very briefly to the ceremony beginning scene where she says the spell and she cuts her hand and she bleeds all over the forest, and out comes an elf hand from the forest. And it was at that point in which I saw four options.
Yeah.
I saw option one, the elf flips us off.
Yeah, that was my original prediction, and I was hoping for it.
Mm-hmm. Option two, the thumb up. Mm-hmm. We get a thumb up there. Option three, we get the metal horns.
Yeah.
Right? Option four, do what they do, which is nothing.
Right.
But I think that's the best option.
It is.
Four is the best?
Yeah.
No.
Why is the elf going to behave in a manner in which it knows somebody's looking at it?
Options 1 through 3 are sequel material.
Yeah.
If you had an Elves 2, he would give you the finger,
Well,
for example, this
Right
movie took
before the
place-
Electric Boogaloo.
Precisely.
I don't know. I think I would hate the movie that gave me the middle finger, because the rest of the movie to follow would be awful.
I mean, I'm going to disagree with you. I think the middle finger would have fit in perfectly with the rest of how this movie unravels.
That's true. This really was a middle finger movie.
Would have been right at home.
And in fact, it was a middle finger movie because Santa gave someone the middle finger.
With a dirty
did.
elf mitt shooting out of the earth and giving us a middle finger like in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the difference between open and hidden contempt for your audience.
That's true.
Just straight up giving them the finger as the movie starts.
See, that's why I would have like the thumb up movie, because I feel like that's in good spirit. Like, hey, everything's gonna be okay.
We're all here to have a good time in this Nazi elf rape movie.
Yeah. So let's have fun.
Okay, you clowns, cut the crap.
In retrospect, like this movie was an hour and almost 40 minutes long. It didn't feel super long when I was watching it. But now that I'm thinking back on it, the whole beginning part with Kirsten and her friends at the mall
Yes.
and like waiting for their boyfriends, that felt like an eternity.
It was, because nothing was happening.
Nothing happened at all.
It really was just a super long like establishment of who she was and who this Michael, the guy, Grizzly Adams guy.
Santa.
Yeah, Santa. Who like until we found out he was a cop.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know
He's a
who
cop?
Yeah,
He was an ex-cop,
What?
yeah.
He's an ex-cop.
No.
They had like a throwaway line about how he drank his way out of the force.
That's
Like,
right.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
No way.
That's true.
That's
We
true.
were probably thinking about pizza.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Definitely.
But I feel like, okay, if I can just dive into something negative.
Yeah.
Do it.
I feel like this movie had a lot of parts where they would just kind of leave the responsibility of comprehension up to the viewer. You
So
know
wait,
what I mean?
I have the choice in whether or not I want to comprehend this movie.
No.
No, I don't think you had a choice.
You don't even have a choice because they don't give you a choice because they don't spell anything out for you. Like, even when stuff is supposed to be happening, like people are getting shot, people are getting handed things, people are entering rooms, and they don't establish it. They just kind of let it happen off screen, and then you find yourself in the middle of something and you're like, how did I get here? And I did not appreciate that.
Yeah.
I felt like it made everything feel very fake.
I think the worst offender was me not realizing one of the main characters had just been shot.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize that either. Just like we didn't realize her friend was shot in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, same
We were
thing.
like, hey, where's the friend? You were like, oh, she died. Like,
You didn't
what?
hear the really quiet gunshot noise that no one reacted to.
I mean, we did watch this movie on YouTube, so I can't speak to if the sound problems were from that or just from this movie being terribly incoherent.
I feel like it's usually only video quality that comes along with YouTube. If it's sound problems, then that's their fault.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of scenes in this movie where like the ambient noise tracks were like drowning out the dialogue. Like, ambient street noise, just
Yeah.
completely drowning out key dialogue. Have no idea what anyone's saying.
There was
Yeah.
a part where Santa was walking Kirsten to the car, and they were like having a full blown conversation, and it was just like. I was like, are they talking? Is this crucial dialogue we're missing? Is this a plot point that I'm going to need later
Definitely not.
about a Nazi midnight rape?
Yes. On top of... Okay. So, the elves were awful.
The elf.
Okay. Also... all right, let's talk about that. So, the movie... So...
I was promised elves with a V.
I was also promised elves with not only a V, but an extra ES, and you got rid of the F, and now we've got a new word.
Yeah.
That's a plural for a singular.
The first complaint I wrote down was that there were not enough elves in this movie. And that was before the end when we realized that it was only the one elf the entire goddamn time.
Yeah, I thought... the movie did a great job. Just by calling it elves, I just assumed there was more.
Me too.
Because until someone mentioned it, like, this is the same elf, I was like, oh, yeah, it is. It's like, I thought there were, like, a group of them.
Me too. You never see two on screen at the same time.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they just look terrible and they didn't want to show them, or maybe they built like one
That's a good point,
And that's
because you very rarely even see an entire elf on screen.
Yeah,
you never
hardly.
see his weird meat legs or his ghastly
He has,
bat
like,
boy face.
Tyrannosaurus Rex legs.
Yeah, that's really awful. And then, like, what they always did, they used the shot so many times, was that it would be from behind the elf, and he'd be on, like, the bottom corner of the screen, but no lower than, like, the shoulder blade. And it probably just looked terrible down there. And they did it so, it was starting to piss me off. I'm just like, ugh.
But I honestly could not have cared less at how bad it looked. I wanted to see more of it looking terrible.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to see good-looking elves.
No, not remotely.
No.
I just want to see them looking goofy.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they're walking, like, their feet just very lightly tapping the ground.
They all have this bewildered look on their face, like their mouths are always open. They're just staring. And they look like they're making this sound.
Yeah, I was going to say they all look like they just came. They're like cross-eyed and their mouths are open. And they're just like, they have like that push of relief in their face, like, oh. It's really awful.
Gross.
And on top of the lack of multiple elves, every so often they'd cut to an elf vision. That happened. Awful.
Terrible.
Elf vision. Did
Yeah.
I not notice that?
It was like the weird blurry, like,
Faded.
like the tunnel vision kind of effect.
Yeah.
Like the thing that happened at the end when everything was just like
Yeah.
swirling for no reason.
Yeah, that also happened at the beginning.
Okay.
I mean, the YouTube quality definitely was not helping that, but
No,
it
not
couldn't
at
have
all.
been good to begin with.
But I mean, I don't. Why did we go and look at this from the perspective of the elf? That's the last person I want to see the perspective of in this movie. I
Yeah.
don't want to be a part of this guy's brain, this 2-foot troll Nazi fuckface.
part of this elvery.
Yeah.
And it's not like we really got to see them doing anything interesting from a first-person perspective. It's just them looking around.
Yeah, and I was like, well, why?
It's like they're not doing anything interesting. Elf vision is not interesting to look through.
No.
It's not like Terminator vision where you're like, oh, okay, that's
hell
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Well, yeah, because that gives me insight to the Terminator, whereas if they had replaced every elf vision shot with a shot of the actual elf looking at them, we would have been in a much better place right now.
Yeah.
And also, I want to complain about the knife that the elf had.
Oh, you mean the toenail file?
Yeah, yeah, fucking toe knife.
I don't know who
It was like a fucking,
You know, like that Genesis game, Toe Knife and Earl.
Frank and Charlie's toe knife.
It was like the elf had a weapon of choice, and it was a shitty ass like steak knife.
Yeah, it wasn't even a steak knife. It literally looked like one of those little nail files that have the plastic handle.
Yeah, and he was stabbing multiple people multiple times.
He did
Since
stab Santa right in the cock.
Oh, the different Santa.
Yeah, early
Not-
Santa.
Not the Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly.
Gristly Adams.
Grist mill.
That's what he is, right? He's gristly, like
He is a little gristly.
he's gristly. Like
I was going to say like well-oiled beef.
I was gonna say like chicken teriyaki. You know?
No, I like well-oiled
God.
beef.
Well
Chicken
oiled
teriyaki today that was fucking made out of yarn.
That is fucking Grizzly Adams.
So bad. So at first I was pissed.
No, I'm talking about a stupid shitty knife still, so you can go.
And let me tell you, you're not going to cut through Grizzly Adams with a crappy knife.
Please finish up your thoughts on how shitty this knife is.
No, it's over. It's a piece of shit. And it was like just the worst way. And like fuck this elf. Because
Take a minute.
he just had this shitty knife, and then also the fucker winds up shooting someone.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'm like, I hate that. I hate when I hated the killer's weapon, but it's like, all right, he wanted a shitty steak knife, he gets one. But now he's shooting people with guns. I can't get behind it.
He's an elf of all trades.
Yeah.
At first I was going to say that the acting in this movie was terrible, but I kind of feel like that lent to its charm,
Oh, yeah.
oddly enough.
Okay.
Grizzly Adams was so... I don't even know his real name.
Daniel
Dan
Hughes.
Dan
Haggerty.
Dan Haggerty.
And I didn't look it up on the internet.
Dan
I'm going to go with Dan
Haggerty.
Huge. So
Dan
Dan
Hagar.
Huge's character was like the weirdest, most oddly soft-spoken person.
Yeah.
Even when he was threatening people, he was like, "You fucking listen to me." Not gonna hurt this girl, okay?
When the father explained that he like raped his daughter and was trying to sell his granddaughter to elves to have a little Nazi elf put in her belly, he was like, "I can't believe you. You make me sick." Like, that was the only response he had.
This is for my wife.
No,
Fuck
he
you
called
and
him
die.
like a fucking. Dude, when I was actually doing my impression of him, I was like, "Why am I channeling Steven Seagal right now?" I feel like he actually went over the top at that part. Not like over the top because he totally gave.
He
that
was
guy
way
everything.
under the top.
He was under the top, but over the top for his norm. And
Under the top, over the bottom.
I think he like called him a piece of shit.
Oh, really? You're a
think-
piece of shit and you make me sick.
Something
Yes,
like
Steven
that.
Seagal.
Yeah.
Fuck you and die. I love that sentence. Fuck you and die.
And
Nah,
the
I'm sorry.
fucking
Both.
reveal for that, the incest, was like the weirdest thing that ever happened.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kirsten was like arguing with her mom about how her dad was dead, and her mom was like, "He's down in the study, go talk to him." And she was like, "Dad's dead, what are you talking about?" And she's like, "He's downstairs, go talk to him. Your father is your grandfather." And it was like, dun dun.
It was.
I think all of us
we
had-
were not like dun dun. We were like, what the fuck?
Like I could see all of us kind of doing the mental math on that for a good like 4 or 5 seconds. And we're like, all right,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah, that was disgusting. And at first I was like, did I misunderstand that? Did she really mean that the father is the grandfather?
Yeah, well, it was funny because earlier in the movie, I was like, is that her dad?
Yeah, I thought so too.
And you were like, yeah. And I was like,
in fact, I could have sworn there was some line of dialogue that like gave away the twist, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I definitely asked if that was her dad at one point.
yeah. And I think we
Because
said,
I was like, who the fuck is this random wheelchair Nazi?
yeah, it's definitely, I thought it was her dad.
Listen, if you're gonna be a wheelchair Nazi, don't be a random one. You know, call up in advance. Tell me you're gonna show up. You know, let me clean up.
Be a grandpa daddy.
This does kind of give me a weird vibe, like Clown House does, in that it feels like the subject matter and even the presentation to an extent is meant for kids. Like it's got that "Are You Afraid of the Dark" soundtrack going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's about elves.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of a childish topic, and even the acting feels like low rent in a childish way. But there's something very reprehensible about the whole thing as a whole. Like some weird pervert made this movie.
There's a lot of like odd sexual things.
Yeah.
And not that like sex is odd, it's the things themselves. Like the little brother like weirdly sexualizing his older sister and like telling her that he was going to tell all his friends how big her tits are.
You have big fucking tits. I'm going to tell everyone I saw them. I think that was the line.
I was like, first of all,
Like-
what?
That's
You got this backwards, kid.
I know. I was like, you should not tell anyone about
No.
this.
You're supposed to tell all your friends about how you saw your other friend's sister's tits.
yeah. That's
That's
the
how
problem.
it's supposed to go.
Yeah, and then Kirsten's friends were like talking about how she's a virgin, and they were like, "How do you stop them?" Like meaning guys from having sex with her, and she was like, "You just say no." And her friend was like, "Oh gosh, I'd rather just go through with it
It's very practical
and
advice for
avoid the
1989.
confrontation." I was like, "Oh my god, have we really come that far in less than 30 years?"
Yeah, I don't know if this is a product of its time or if the guy that directed this is just a scumbag. I'm not sure.
I
Definitely
immediately
scum.
thought of Heather's when Veronica goes on that double date with her friend, and then you just see the girl in the background. She's like laying on the ground, and this guy's on top of her, and she's just like flailing, and like it's comical, but at the same time, you're like, nope, that's a rape.
This is terrible.
This is what raping is.
Yeah. She just seemed
So
more
bizarre.
She seemed more just polite about it than anything.
Yeah, like I don't want to cause it. She literally said, "I don't want to cause a confrontation." I was like,
Yeah.
this is so weird.
That's like when you're at a restaurant and someone brings you out like, you know, the wrong food on accident, but you're like, well, I guess I'll eat this.
Looks okay.
Looks fine.
And then all this happens, and then you find out that she's like a product of incest, and you're like, oh, That's why.
Yeah, and with the other strange sex thing in this movie, so we didn't get any tits in this movie until one scene in particular where, okay, we have Kirsten's mom, and she's just confessed to her about the whole granddad-father situation. Now she's in the bathroom, she's getting ready for a bath, and she's like going all fucking crazy.
She's smearing lipstick on her face like Robert Smith.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome and like
on the
so
mirror.
effectively creepy.
That was great.
That
like,
was-
dude,
yeah.
watching the lipstick just like smudge so hard, I'm like, no, that's such a delicate thing. Don't ruin it.
I
like
know,
that.
because at first she's putting it on so nice, and then she just gets harder and harder, and you can see like the stick of the lipstick just start to like crush and get smushed, and like it's going everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, she's fucking losing it.
Yeah, she starts putting it on the mirror and everything, and then then she gets in the bathtub, and then she's just like washing up, she's doing her thing. And then the first time we see breasts in the movie, they're being electrocuted because an elf got in the bathroom, pushed a radio into the bathtub, and now she's like a flailing naked body in the tub.
Being electrocuted.
And
Her boobs are everywhere.
and they're everywhere. And
Everywhere.
they're all over the place. And I saw that, and I was like, I feel like that messed up a lot of kids and caused a lot of fetishes. I don't know why. I just got that feeling like,
It's because your dick moved, and you were like, oh my god.
I mean, my dick moves all the time.
Oh my god, I love electric ladies.
Hold on. You should go to elves.org and ask Santa what happened to electricladies.com.
Oh,
That's what
shit.
Jimi Hendrix was
well-
talking about this whole time.
You have to do that, Eric, because I already
You already
sent Santa.
asked Santa a question on elves.org.
I did. So everyone, if you want Santa before Christmas, you got to get to Santa. Go to elves.org. There's going to be a direct line to Santa. You put your name in, you put in a subject line, and you send a message to Santa. My message, for instance, said, from Tom, subject line elves, and I asked what happened to elves.com.
Yeah, because you go to elves.com, you get 404.
This whole mess started because Tom's 84 years old.
And I just Googled elves to look up this movie.
More than once, by the way.
Why nothing was coming up? Just like pictures of fairies on like Tumblr.
I'm like, what is this? Where's this movie? You know what page of Google this was on? You know how many pages of Google I had to go through to get to this?
How many?
20.
You didn't give up after 2?
No.
Who goes to page 20 in Google?
You
Yeah,
know how many
right.
O's populated at the bottom of my
I was
screen?
going to say, you had to
Just
have
pick
gone
a
through...
random one and click it.
You had to go through so many pictures of like statues that they sell at that one store at every mall that just carries like weed paraphernalia and swords and fairy statues.
Yep.
Like you ended
And
up on all those
incense.
websites.
And like those fiber optic flowers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
There's 3 of those stores at Emerald Square Mall now, and I don't know why.
One for each floor.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
One of the strengths that I found this movie to have was that it was just so nonchalant in its absurdity. Like, people just talked about these things like it was the most normal thing in the world. Everyone like believed it with like very little assistance. At first, like Kirsten's mom was like, "You're crazy," basically. But I feel like she was the only person that didn't believe them right off the bat.
And she's the only demonstrably crazy person in this movie.
She's awful.
Yeah, she's a psycho.
But yeah, I liked how utterly ridiculous it was.
Yeah, I feel like that's what kept it interesting. That's what made it watchable, because I feel like we shouldn't have liked it. I feel like it should have been something that fell flat. It should have been something that I was bored with, but it wasn't. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but I think the absurdity from moment to moment through our eyes, but not their eyes. Everything was completely normal to them, so I felt like that was extremely enjoyable from it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you couldn't predict this movie. Like, you wouldn't expect this movie to go Nazis. Yeah, that sounds right for a movie called Elves.
Yeah.
But then they did. So it's like, what else are they going to throw at me today?
I was like, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Also, another positive for this movie, I'd say, would be Grizzly Adams himself.
I really enjoyed him in this movie, yeah.
He was very soft-spoken and effective as his character, and I feel like a good portion of this movie was him walking up to buildings, smoking cigarettes, and then walking through the door.
Yep.
And normally I'd be like, again, but
So many cigarettes.
so many cigarettes.
Something enjoyable about seeing a guy like that just chain smoke. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, because they weren't, I don't know, I feel like they were always like small cigarettes. They were always like almost done every time. Like, I never saw him light a cigarette. I never saw him start to smoke one. I always saw him finish a cigarette. This whole movie.
It was just the same one. He just kept getting interrupted.
Just fishing butts out of ashtrays.
Oh, man. Actually, he was not homeless, but he was jobless.
Yeah. I mean, he was literally sitting at a diner drinking coffee and chain smoking. Like,
He was living at the mall, so
he wasn't homeless. The mall was
I
his
guess.
home. Hey, if you can get away with it.
he was the Phantom of the Mall.
Oh, we need to watch that again.
Do we?
Yes.
Is that the one with the guy that lives at the mall and he's like
Like a
really
burn
into
victim?
karate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Pauly Shore in that?
Yes.
Yeah. It was Pauly Shore
Oh, my gosh.
being somewhat subdued.
Yeah, right? Early years. Okay.
I kind of like that everyone in this movie is an asshole.
Like
Everyone was an
Everyone
asshole.
is such an asshole, and once I came to accept that, I began to enjoy how much of assholes they were.
Like all the side characters
Yeah,
that you
like-
meet, like random townspeople.
Yeah, like everyone's just so mean
And difficult.
all the
Rude,
time.
Rude.
And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like-
Speaking of which, I forgot that Santa asked Kirsten for oral. Speaking of how everyone's fucking rude.
Not Grizzly Adams.
No, he was a gentleman.
The first Santa
Who got dick stabbed?
Scumbag Santa.
who got dick stabbed, and actually he was blowing lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bad
He was just like
Santa.
muttering about, oh, those bastards are going to fire me.
Yeah. Snorting coke in the back room at a fucking Zales.
And then Grizzly Adams like meets a lady somewhere, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Fucking, you can't smoke in here."
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
he's like just standing there minding his own business. She walks into him and then says that he should watch where he's going. That's the worst kind of person in the world.
Oh my gosh. She, and I feel like she was carrying a stack of phone books.
Like too many phone books.
Way too many. Like there's-
take 2 trips, lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Work smarter, not harder.
Okay, so I would like to say one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Okay.
I like to do that now.
I think you should do that.
I want to do it because one of my favorite parts is going to be the scene in which Grizzly Adams goes into this doctor's home during Christmas Eve dinner.
Also my favorite part.
Is it?
Go on. Yes.
Okay. It's okay.
Because boy, did I like this.
All right. Well, let's tag team it. Let's do it together.
Okay.
Did you like this part too?
It wasn't on my list, but I just want to talk about the end.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. So Grizzly Adams walks in and starts to try and get information from a doctor. This guy is in his home. He's eating Christmas Eve dinner with his 2 children.
Carving a turkey.
Carving a turkey, literally just like carving a turkey when Santa comes in the room and asks him what he knows about elves.
He's like, this is a life or death situation. You have to tell me. I can't wait until you're back in your office.
The guy's like, "Oh my god, fine. What do you need?"
And
me
then he
for?"
tells him everything about elves.
Yeah, like 2 major Nazi elf theories that he just had in his pocket ready to go.
First theory was that the Nazis were training elf assassination teams to take out their opponents, and the second theory was that Nazis were doing mutant experiments on elves to create a super race.
Which I kind of like.
But you know what? After that elf picked up the gun and used it, I was like, are both of these theories correct? And they're just mashed together.
I would assume that theory 2 was the one.
They're mutant experiments?
Yeah.
Well, I thought him using a gun meant that he was trained as an assassin as well.
Oh.
Which
true.
would have
So-
meant that he was really ineffective before that.
Yeah, I would say they were really
when he was an
shitty.
untrained elf.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what I really enjoyed about that scene, though, is this entire time where he's explaining the Nazi elf theory, his 2 young daughters are just sitting there watching him explain.
Oh my god, there was like a 10-second shot of them like looking up at their dad from the table, explaining to this random giant bearded man in their house on Christmas Eve the theory between elves and Nazis.
Wasn't he talking about them like breeding them with like women too?
He said a lot of inappropriate things in front of his family.
Yeah, that's true. And then he was like yelling at his like housekeeper
To call the police.
to call the police. That's I mean, that guy didn't have a wife. I'm assuming he just had 2 daughters.
Could have sworn the wife was in the shot somewhere, but maybe I just imagined that.
Oh, I don't know. Well, fuck it.
not
He doesn't
important.
I
matter.
think she was off to this. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe it was just the maid.
That's exactly, yeah. It was the maid. Unless his wife spoke Spanish exclusively and he treated her like shit.
It was
Makes her dress
yeah.
like a maid.
That guy, everyone in this movie is an asshole. Wouldn't surprise me.
He must have mail ordered his wife, so she had to do everything.
Tom was talking about how he wants a mail order slave earlier.
Yeah. Well, no.
What?
No.
Well, hold on.
No.
This movie took a real... This movie and this podcast took a real turn.
No, all I was saying was I wanted to order a wife online.
Okay.
So that she could just do all the dishes.
Okay.
And clean up the house.
You're not helping your case right now.
And do everything I want, but it wouldn't... but it would be okay. Okay, I'm not going to finish.
What? This is a half-baked bit, isn't it?
No,
It's fine because he's not having sex with her.
No, this is...
Also, he's only going to call her a slave.
I'm only going to call her...
she's white.
If she's white, I can call her a slave because it's not offensive. So if I get a Russian bride online, she can be my slave, and that's okay. I paid for her.
I think you need to put this idea back in the oven.
But I paid full price.
www.elfbrides.com.
I'm going to go to elves.org. I'm going to ask for a bride.
You're going to ask for a bride.
I'm gonna ask,
Dear Santa, I would like a
Santa.
Russian bride. P.S. I can call her a slave because she's white.
Yeah, basically. Santa would agree. He gets it. You know how many white elves he's enslaved?
True.
One.
Are they there out of the...
Just one, and they made the movie about it.
Oh, kill me.
Fantastiche. Okay. Any other favorite parts? I have one more. It's really small. But Brittany, you go.
You can go if you want to, because
It's not
I'm
the
just
end.
going to talk about the end.
Okay, you're going to talk about the end. One small favorite part I have is okay. So those like weird German occultists that are chasing Kirsten are also now tailing Grizzly Adams, and he's driving in his car. He's getting tailed or whatever, and I'm not sure what prompts him to look, but he like pulls out in his glove box or in something. He pulls out sticks of dynamite. There's dynamite in his car. I have no idea how he's discovered this, and he drops the dynamite, and then he just opens the door and he just jumps out of his car.
But do you even see him jump out?
Yes.
I thought you.
That's
didn't-
my favorite part.
I thought you didn't know he jumped out until he attacked that guy after.
Oh no! You saw him like just completely like body roll out of the.
I missed that. I
was
must
sick.
have been taking notes.
It was spectacular,
damn it.
and the combination of that and the wicked cheesy Fisher Price dynamite was great choice.
An alarm clock with like wires taped to it.
Electrical tape around it. A couple of hot dogs back there.
Oh man!
Hot dogs are a watch wrapped around hot dogs is the new dynamite.
It's the new one.
That's pretty brilliant.
Thank you. I thought so.
Okay. Now I have
How
to
many watches
explain-
do you have to attach to one hot dog, though, to turn it into dynamite?
Well, I'm assuming that it's
Just
like
one.
I would say 8 hot dogs around one watch around 8 hot dogs.
Well, all right.
You could add. I think you could add extra bands for support at the top and bottom,
Well, I gotta
but they
wa-
don't need to have faces on them.
I got the perfect watch right here for it. It's got like a little elastic band on it, so I can probably have like it's on my lamp.
See, I feel like that's not a good watch for it because
Really?
I feel like it needs to be like electronic looking, like digital.
Oh no! I was thinking more classic, but it could be the digital one. Could be, but this one will tighten the hot dogs up, and it'll really look encased like a dynamite.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're really busy, so you should ask your wife slave to go to the store, pick up a watch and some hot dogs.
I'm gonna let her know.
I need to build a bomb. Pick me up a Rolex and a pack of hot dogs. Daddy's got to build a bomb. Don't talk back to me.
Oh my goodness,
Tom, you've officially become a podcast monster.
Yeah, we're all terrible.
I love.
Okay, so I just need to explain
All right, go for the end.
why I'm going to give this movie the rating that I'm going to give it. And it's because of the end of this movie. So Kirsten is finally led back to the original spot where she did her stupid little ritual by the elf. She's about to be Christmas Eve raped. And her little brother runs to find her, brings her the magic crystal she needs to defeat the elves because it would only ever be a magic crystal.
Well, it's an elf.
And she gets like a vision of what she's supposed to do with the crystal. So she like slow-mo starts army crawling like across the grass, and the elf is next to her, and she raises the crystal above her head and screams, "Die, you little faggot!" It stabs the ground where she originally did the ritual.
Yeah.
And then the elf bursts into obscurity. Like, where does he go?
Well, wait, yeah, where did he go?
Well, what
Turns
happens
into
is,
dust?
well, he started smoking out of his mouth. I know that much happened. But when she stabbed the ground, fireworks went off.
Yes,
right?
like under the ground.
Yeah, like a Liberace show.
But the important part is that she screamed, "Die, you little faggot."
We were so stymied that we're like, hold on, rewind it. Did you just say that?
We rewound it not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Good.
Because she's a lady.
Oh, it was just so unexpected and like ridiculous and 80s and perfect.
Yeah, because leading up to now, there was really nothing harsh like that.
No,
Well,
not really.
I mean, the 10-year-old brother was like saying fuck left and right. He's
Yeah,
like, I'm
but-
going to tell everyone I saw your sweet fucking tits.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, good point.
Yeah,
This movie
there
was
was-
reprehensible from day one.
That's true, but it made me forget. And then it reminded me again.
Yeah.
Well, we had Grizzly Adams being like a nice, upstanding
Upstanding.
member of an obscenity member of society. Obscenity mender of society. That's what Grizzly Adams is.
Yep.
Yes, of course.
Legitical.
You know, he's going to put down all those Rottweiler fights. That's a really old callback.
Oh, man, that's a real old callback.
Dust it off. It's ready to drive.
Whoa. Oh, man.
Now, do you think it said that in the script, or like they just couldn't come up with a better line?
I don't
like,
know. It makes no fucking sense.
Did she improvise it?
You think an elf is going to care that you called him a faggot?
I feel like that was for her. She
Yeah.
said that for her.
I mean, I know. But come on.
Yeah, I don't think she was looking to, like, insult him. I think she was really just looking to release. I think she just wanted to go and say something that'd make her feel good as she stabbed a rupee into the
rupee?
soil. Yes.
Yeah, from Legend of Zelda.
Thank you. That's exactly what it looked like, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other favorite parts, guys?
I thought the credit, like the way they presented the final credits was actually too good for this movie.
Totally agree.
Because
Yeah.
it was just a black screen with the credits on the top half, kind of fading in and out, and then just a like an elf human fetus, presumably growing inside our lead character, and just like you could hear the heart beating. And that was like really effectively creepy.
Yeah.
Too bad it was in this movie.
Yeah. And it's not even like it's like really inside of her, is it? It's just like dimly lit and it's
Yeah.
like black
And like a
on
black
all
void.
sides.
Yeah.
Like
But
she
it's-
didn't even end up getting raped by this elf.
Well,
Yeah. Well, it might have been. I hope I have the phrase right, or I'm going to sound like a moron. An immaculate conception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Certainly nothing like an obscenity mender.
Or he was definitely like diddling her for a little while.
yeah, he could have done it through
with
his finger.
Creepy elf digits.
He did finger her for a little too long. That's right. That's where it could have come from.
Is that where
From the tip
babies
of
come
his
from?
finger.
That's where elves come from.
Oh.
I see
They
what
come
you did
from.
there.
Yeah. Thanks.
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. That it? Is that it? Are we gonna rate it now?
I think we are.
Yeah.
Okay, let's rate. So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
fuck
I'm going to
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
All right, guys, let's rate Elves from 1989. Let's talk about that. What do we want to give it? Brittany, it seems like you have a canned rating based on the last line of the movie. What do you got?
I'm gonna give it a fuck yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I liked it so much.
Because it's from 1989.
It's true. I didn't pick it. It wasn't my fault, but it was from 1989, and it was 1989's fault.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I just had so much fun watching it, and I don't know if it was like us, like
Part of it.
making fun of it, or if it was actually. I just felt like it kept getting more and more absurd, which kept me interested the entire time,
Yeah.
which is a feat that not many things can accomplish. I would definitely recommend anyone to watch this at least once if you like bad movies.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like this is accessible on the same level as like Troll 2, maybe.
Yeah.
A little more competent than Troll 2, but it still has that same vibe. You're like, what? Why? Yeah, for my rating, I'll go. I'll go. Fuck yes.
Very conservative. Fuck yes.
Yeah, pretty much. I think you nailed it on the head. I'm like, I don't know why I like this. Why did I enjoy this? This movie was terrible. But yet,
it's magic.
You know, I didn't know what was going to happen next. And it's very rare that I can say that about most movies, because you kind of have a vibe of at least, okay, well, this is the through line. This is what you expect. This movie did not give us any sign that we'd be seeing Nazis anytime soon, and we did.
Except for the one German guy in a wheelchair.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to assume that all Germans are Nazis, especially when they're in wheelchairs. They got enough problems.
True.
Yeah, but in 1989, I bet you that was still on the back of everyone's mind.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I will bend a knee to the peer pressure and also give a fuck yes.
Don't feel pressured.
I do. All right, you guys are staring daggers at me.
No,
and if I give this movie less than a fuck yes, I feel like that.
Do what you got to do.
I have a nail file to Tom's throat.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. I feel like I'm gonna get elfed. And yeah, no, I'll give it a fuck yes. I feel pretty confident in that. I'm not sure. I'm not going to watch this around Christmas time. Like, I didn't get the Christmas vibes from it.
I will say one improvement that I think this movie could make is if Grizzly Adams was dressed as Santa the entire time.
That's another thing I wanted to address. Like, Kirsten calls him Santa the whole movie, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever actually formally gives his name to her.
Not once does he don a Santa suit.
Yeah, but he got introduced to her as the new Santa.
True.
So, like, that's why she's...
No, I know.
I know why, but...
It's unsatisfying.
If he at least wore Santa pants...
I'm not satiated.
Or even just the Santa coat as just like a regular coat because he was cold and homeless.
Yeah.
That would have been fine. But no,
Some red suspenders, maybe.
That would have been nice. You know, a little touch of Santa on this guy would have gone a long way, and it would have given me more Christmas feels.
Yeah.
And I probably would have appreciated that a little bit more, considering this is like a Christmas horror movie.
It's more of a Christmas crime movie. You know how I feel about Christmas crime.
We love
your
us
favorite crime.
some Christmas crime.
Yes, the ultimate crime are crimes committed around Christmas.
Yep. Die Hard.
That's when
Home
they're
Alone.
Yeah, and that's when they're forgiven.
Because the opposite of the Christmas spirit.
Exactly. If you commit a crime between
The only way to create conflict.
the 18th and the 25th of December, then all is forgiven. Not legally, but religiously.
Santa will forgive you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cinematically.
Exactly. Exactly. Hypothetically.
That's why we like Hans Gruber so much.
Of course, because he only commits those crimes. Was that Christmas Eve?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't make this a Christmas time movie. I definitely recommend people watch it, and I cannot quite put my finger on exactly why I did like it as much as I did. I mean,
Glad we're all so articulate.
no, there's something about it. It's got the magic. It's got it.
Oh, sorry.
Like you can't. Yeah, we don't have to do that again. Like you look at Brad Pitt and you go like, yeah, he's got it. I mean, you don't know what, but it's it. This movie has it.
All right.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it up, guys?
I have said my piece.
Yeah.
This is Obscenity Mending signing off.
I do have one last thing I'd like to say. Episode 100's coming up.
Yeah!
I can't believe it.
Right? All right. So, I mean, we've had some bonus episodes. So we've watched over 100 movies at this point. But we don't have official 100 episodes.
I mean, we have over 100 at this point, but...
Yeah, we have over 100 posts, but this will be official episode 100. No bonus attached to it. 99 was Grandma got run over by a reindeer, and that was fun. So we want to do something really cool for episode 100. We don't quite know what it is yet, but that'll probably happen sometime early next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll do that. So that'll be fun.
Be back sometime in January.
So if anyone has anything...
Wait, when?
January 1990.
So if anyone has anything, any thoughts to contribute, anything you want us to know, any movies maybe you want us to watch, or suggestions,
Yes, please.
send them on over. We'll read them. We'll incorporate them. We're ready to have a good time with you.
I'm going to try to get some guests on here.
Yeah.
Maybe like a larger than usual
Yeah.
type deal.
We want to do something something interesting.
Something festive.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an extravaganza.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be an extravaganza. Neil Breen has spectaculars. We're going to have extravaganzas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck you, Neil.
Whoa, relax. And also on that note, so we had that fine gentleman who drew that picture of us.
Yes.
He finished that drawing.
Kareem?
Kareem, yes. Thank you so much for that drawing. Tommy and the Black Gifts. I laughed real hard.
Which we will repost to our page at some point.
Yeah, that's going places. So
Tom looks like Donald Trump in it.
yeah,
So, he really captured Tom's true nature.
I love it. I love it. I'm the Donald Trump of this show.
Well,
So you're fired. You're fired.
you're president.
I'm president.
It's true.
And yeah, that's it.
Have we ever talked about Dream Tommy on the podcast?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like that is how Dream Tom
Yes.
looks.
That's for another day.
Well, I'll just very quickly so people aren't
Give it
annoyed.
10 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. So when I make cameos in people's dreams, I am a dick.
You're the biggest dick in the world. Yeah.
I'm like shooting people down.
Like a
I'm making
super
people,
asshole?
I'm a huge asshole in everyone's dreams, and everyone who has a dream about me it feels compelled to tell me about how much of a jerk I was in their dream.
Can I quickly give my Dream Tom, my personal Dream Tom example?
Okay,
this is a dream I had a couple years ago where it turned out for the last 2 seasons of Seinfeld, I played Kramer. And no one would believe me, even though my name was clearly in the credits. But Tom was like a wicked dick about it. He's like, yeah, I bet you played Kramer.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back to set? They're calling you.
Actually, I have had some Dick Dream Toms.
That's a different story.
Hey yo, what up?
What does that even mean?
I think everyone knows what it means.
That you have a dream dick?
It's dreamy to me.
Yeah, like when we first started dating, but I just chalk it up to like early dating insecurity. I used to have dreams that Tom, like, we'd go to a party and Tom would like just start making out with other girls in front of me. And then when I was upset, he would be like, I don't get what you're so mad. Like, just trying to like downplay.
Dude, Dream Tom is a baller.
Yeah.
He's a fucking dickhead.
Even in my dreams, I feel like a baller. Like, and I wake up and I'm like, shit.
You're not no shot caller,
Yeah,
dog.
not in reality. Dream Tom, though, runs shit. In everyone else's dreams, too, I may add.
So, yeah, and Kareem has, like, captured Dream Tommy perfectly.
Yes.
With the facial expression there.
Yeah, so thank you so much again for that. All right. Yeah. So this was the bonus episode, Christmas Super Bad Movie Sunday Spectacular Christmas Fun.
Yep.
It's the same amount of words, but they're in a different order. I messed up. But that's okay.
Ask your wife's slave to fix it for you.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Once she gets back from the store with her watches and hot dogs.
You know, I'll appreciate it. Well, you know, I'm just when she comes back with it, I'm just gonna be like, can you just put this bomb together for me? I don't have time.
You're Russian. You know how it works.
You know how this goes. Just give me a dynamite stick bomb watch, dog. So yeah, thanks Owen at Bad Movie Sunday for pressuring me to watch this movie.
Yeah, I finally liked another one of your movies.
Yeah, it's probably you're over 500 at this point. I'd say the success rate is higher than the not success
I don't
rate.
know anything about baseball.
Yeah, that's well, and then Houseboat Horror doesn't count.
I know a lot of stuff about baseball, but not how that works.
Yeah, okay, sure thing.
500.
It goes with any sport.
Home run.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it, champ.
If you're over 500,
Deal
that
with a
means
good work slugger.
You're better
Foul
than 50%.
ball.
Yep.
You're out of there.
They don't say that. Okay, if you'd like more information on our show, you can go to our Facebook, facebook.com/secondclasscinema. You can listen to this program on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, secondclasscinema.com, followingfilms.com, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram and just have a ball.